I feel like I look so tired and so out of it. And I think I am, in fact, so tired and so out of it. But the show must go on. It is also snowing like crazy outside right now. Insane. Okay. All right. Basically unbothered. New Year's Eve checkup. Checkup is no. No. All right. Basically unbothered. New Year's Eve recap. Let's get it.
I'm dead.
All right, all right, all right. Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of Basically Unbothered. This is a special episode because the year is ending. If you can't tell by the bags under my eyes, letting you know that we tired, we're ready for this year to end. I thought a couple of different ways of how I wanted the New Year's to end. I had a couple of different people that I was going to have on potentially. And then I decided what I really wanted for this episode was for it to just be a conversation and to kind of highlight some of the things that we've gotten to touch on. I know that I haven't been with you guys all year, but I've been with you 14 weeks out of the year, which is to me freaking amazing. And thank you for allowing me into your homes, into your cars, into wherever you're listening to the podcast at. It means literally so much to me. And I decided that we should just recap all of the episodes and all of the people that have come forward and made this season, this year of Basically Unbothered great. So you are going to get some of the best clips of Basically Unbothered from episode 1 to episode 13. And I hope that you enjoy it. While we're doing that, though, I do want to share my introspective thoughts about New Year's. If you listened to the last episode, you would have heard me say that I'm not really into New Year's resolutions. I really don't believe in them. Not in a sense that I don't think that setting an intention for the new year is good. I think it's really important. I just don't think that they are things that you can follow through on. And I think that's because this part of the year is not meant for you to be trying to start something new. This part of the year is meant for you to start to reset, to refuel, to recap, to regain all of that energy that you have lost throughout the year. You're meant to kind of give it back and put it back and rest. And then when you have your spring equinox, then you are really ready to kind of bring that energy more out there. But right now, it's supposed to be a time of rest and recovery and reflection. And that's why we do these things. Like we look back on our year, and some people may feel like they're silly, all the TikTok trends or the Instagram trends, but they are really helpful. It is really helpful to stop and evaluate and see what your year was for you, how your year performed for you, and what you loved about it and what you didn't. So I want to I want to recap some of those things. I know I've been so negative about where my life is right now because my life is struggling, but there have been some amazing, beautiful things. So let's talk about them. I would say I learned a lot of lessons this year. One of the ones that I've kind of been toting out to my friends recently is just releasing and letting go. And if something's going to happen, if something's meant to happen, that's going to happen. And if it's not, then it's just not. And that's just kind of the way that it has to go. And trying to fight that system, trying to fight that energy only ends up with you being hurt. And that is something that I've had to learn the hard way many, 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 many times over. But it is something that I do truly love to really think about. I release my control. I release my need for everything to happen perfectly. Even my need to fuss about everything that's happening in life right now. I release that too because I don't need to, because I don't need it. I really want to just like vanquish that energy and just let it go. And that's one of the big things that I've learned. I mean, I've lost so much this year and I tried to fight tooth and nail and I tried to make sure that I didn't lose anything. And at the end of the day, it still happened. I didn't have any control over it. And what I've learned from that is just sometimes you don't. Sometimes things just happen, good or bad, and you just have to surrender to that energy. And I'm hoping that in the new year, me surrendering to that energy can bring me beautiful things. And you'd be surprised what happens when you surrender to that energy. So I lost my home and I lost a dog and I lost all of these things and I live back with my mom and my dad separately again. But I also have this beautiful office space that I love working at and that I got to decorate and make up my own. And being here has introduced me to new people and has a lightened energy in me that I haven't had in a really long time. And I'm really appreciative of that. And that makes me excited. It makes me excited for work. I literally just got off a call with someone who wants to be on my podcast, and now I have January all booked. I'm working into February, and I'm probably going to have that booked soon. And that is also pretty exciting, I think, for me to have. There's just so many things that happened after I released wanting to have my house and wanting to have my life in Jackson that I don't think I've ever would have had or ever would have went forward with. And I'm grateful that I started the podcast. I'm grateful that I started the podcast with my cousin because doing that, doing that helped me get back into this thing that I really love and that I feel like can really be fortunate and beneficial to me. And even though that podcast didn't work out, I love being able to start that with my cousin because she is someone that I trust and she is someone that I love more than almost anything in this world. And she provided a safe space for me to get to follow my dreams. And sometimes that's what we need. We just need a friend to help guide us away. Things happen for a reason. And when everything happened, doing that with her gave me the courage to step out on my own. And I didn't know. I didn't know if this podcast was going to last past the first 2 or 3 guests because I didn't know how I was going to get guests. I didn't think anybody would want to be on my little podcast and chit chat with me and everything. And now I'm booked for a month ahead, hoping to be more than a month ahead. And that is a blessing. Like I said, you don't know. You just don't know what things can happen and be brought into your life when you let go. Um, I'm grateful for my animals that I have left. I'm grateful for my parents. They have given up so much this year to help me. They've been kind and considerate and caring, and they have shown me what it means to reinvent yourself. Like you think that you're reinventing yourself, but my parents have done it every single day with having to learn how to have me back in their home and everything. And the growth that I see from them, the acceptance that I've seen from them, even with my diagnosis of depression and anxiety and all of the medications and everything that I have to go through and being checking myself in, all of those things, they've pushed themselves out of their comfort zones to help take care of me. And I'm really appreciative of that. I'm appreciative of my coworkers. That's one of the best things that came from last year, but also this year is that I have amazing coworkers. I have amazing coworkers who show up for me in amazing ways. And this year they really did that. Last year, I didn't really know whose side they were on and it was very disconcerting. But now I really feel like I have a like mini family at my job and that means literally so much. And they get me in a way that other people don't get me, and they let me be crazy, moody, dark versions of me that other people be like, "Ooh, that's weird," and then they meet me in that same space. My book my book came out, my 3rd book, my most difficult baby, and I love her so very much, and she came out with 3 reviews, 3 five-star reviews, which is freaking insane, and I can't believe that that happened, and that makes me happy every single day I see those too. There's so many beautiful things, like, I could focus on, and I think I first recorded this a couple of days ago, and I was focusing on all the negative things that happened in my life and how much of a struggle it was, and I don't wanna do that. I don't want to do that anymore. I really, really, really want all of this to be on the positive things in my life, in my world, period. Everything else doesn't really matter. That's just how I feel. But I want that for everybody else. I want when you're getting into the new year, be reflective, but don't just look at the bad things. Look at the good things too. Look at the amazing things that have come into your life sometimes because of the bad things and the amazing opportunities that you had this year, even if it felt like it was miserable. We talked about gratitude last episode, and that's where it comes from, is looking at the beautiful things that might have grown out of the dark places, but they still grew. And to me, that is always the thing that I try to focus on the most. And that is why this episode is going to be a recap of all the episodes that have happened, or I'm going to try to do all of them, but at least most of the episodes that have happened this year, because it's a time for me to look back and see all the things that I've accomplished. And it's a time for everybody to get reintroduced into episodes if they haven't seen them, and prepare for their year with a bunch of clips that come from different places and different aspects of life to help you really understand where you want to go for the new year. Just remember that you get to write your life. You get to create whatever life you want. That is totally up to you. Nobody else gets to decide that. So I hope that you enjoy this episode. I hope that you enjoy the things that are being put out, and I hope that you guys have a great New Year's Eve. Stay safe. Don't get too drunk. And I will see you in the new year in 2026. We want to be honest in that relationship as well. I think that's something that is really attractive. Obviously, not everybody is honest, even in poly situations, but that is one of, right. That is to me one of the keystones of having a successful poly relationship, is being able to communicate and being able to be honest and now be able to own your shit.
Very.
Definitely. You have to be honest with yourself as well as
Yeah.
others. Like, it's not going to work out if you're in denial that, you're actually jealous when you're saying that you're okay with this.
And even recognizing that jealousy in and of itself is normal. And like anger is a secondary emotion. Like there's always something beneath it, right? There's always something else that is at the cause of that.
Yeah.
So if you allow yourself to just stop at feeling jealous, if you allow yourself to just stop at I'm angry, and take that next step to see what the primary feeling is, what the primary kind of motivation is to that, then you do yourself a disservice as much as your partner.
Yeah, definitely. What was I gonna say about the poly parenting thing? Oh, the thing about it is, like, he taught me this, but he was like, kids are just tiny humans. Like, they're people too. And they appreciate honesty and communication just like an adult would. And just because they're kids doesn't mean they're not going to be able to understand. Now, she may not understand a complex concept, but you can break it down into a way that she will be able to understand. If we do find another partner, we'll be like, hey, you know how mommy and daddy love each other? Well, we love this person too. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like,
we be banging.
Right. Like, got my back blown out by this bitch the other day.
Yeah.
Like, no, we don't have to do that.
It's interesting because it goes into a conversation about sexuality, and I wish that it could have a different word, because to me there's so much focus on the sex of it, and not in yeah. And I mean even in just like,
but
right, but I mean, like, even if you look at like a relationship with two men, and when parents are like, I don't want to teach this to my kid in school, and you're like, why? And they're like, I don't want my kid to know that men and men have sex with us. Like, your kid would never fucking, like, your kid's not old enough to know what the fuck sex is.
Think about that part of it. Yeah.
But what kills me is that they're okay with heterosexual kissing and stuff in movies for kids. Like,
and it blows my mind. But the frustrating part is that what happens is that all that is queerness, all that is different, tends to be sexualized.
Yeah.
And adultified.
Yeah, and it's not.
Okay.
There, I was on whatever dating site I thought was hot for a second. I hate dating sites, by the way. I can't fucking do it. Whoever I meet is gonna have to meet me in a motherfucking grocery store. See you at Target. But it's brain. Sorry, it's so late and my brain just froze. Hold on, let it. It's not. No, it's not your fault. I've, like I said, my meds are like messing up my entire system, and it's funny because I'm at the end of it. Like I'm at the end of my 2 weeks. And I'm like, why are you fucking with me right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why didn't you fuck with me a week ago? Dating, relationship. Oh, okay. But the frustrating part is that, like, all of this is more just about love. It's not about, oh, you get to, people always say, oh man, it would be so cool. And I was on dating sites and they'd be like, yeah, so you're just doing this because you just want to have sex with multiple people. I was like, no, you can have an open relationship to do that shit. That's not what this is about. It's
about cultivating meaningful relationships with multiple people. My bad.
No, you're feeling it. You're like, yes, I agree. It's so much more than just, oh, we're going out and we're having these relationships. It's about we're having meaningful connections. I think that, I mean, that's why everyone always talks about why we need more diversities, because when you have diverse experiences, you enrich your life and become better. I mean, I'm reading a book written by an Indian author, and it's so fascinating to me. It's still, it's not it's still a fiction book, but it's still so fascinating to me to get to hear, even the characters, she's half Indian, half white. And we experience a lot of the mixed race culture and African American culture, but we don't listening to how and I think they're probably a little bit back in time, but listening to how it affected them was really interesting.
Yeah, I will read diverse authors and diverse genres, but I will read a memoir too, but I'm not mature enough to read nonfiction yet. I'm just not there yet.
It's hard.
I'm not there yet.
Oh, it's so hard. There's a couple I listen to a lot of like my memoirs. I do read some motivational books sometimes. I like to listen to those as well. Because you can take those chapter by chapter, like one chapter a day. Like, cool, I'm done. That was my motivational spiritual work for the day. But nonfiction is hard. I read The Devil in the White City, but part of that kept me going was that there's so much tumultuous things that were actually happening in real life, and it was also tied in with a serial killer. And I love true crime.
Well, actually, I read that book. It was a while ago, and I remember I had to do an assignment on it. And that one, yeah, that book was a lot. That was like my first like kind of intro into a little bit of true crime. So I was like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
I ran to listen to this podcast I follow, Morbid. They covered true crime, and I ran to listen to their episode about him. And then I've done Killers of the Flower Moon, which they turned into a movie.
Okay, hold on, let me write these down because I'll be trying to get into my different genres now. But I'm also a scaredy cat, so like horror, true crime.
It wasn't a horror. It was a little true crimey, but not like crazy true crimey. But it's a real story about the how do I find a word to explain this? It's a real story about the orchestrated and orchestrated killings of Native American people for their oil rights. Oh, the movie was like 3 hours long, and I was like, who watching this? I mean, I did, but
I said I can't talk. I love a 3-hour movie because me and Pirates in the Caribbean go together real bad.
me too.
Go together real bad.
Me too. Quick pause, because if you love dark stories that don't flinch, Olympic War isn't a soft love story. It's violent, it's chosen, and it costs everything. Through war, betrayal, and survival, Moonstone fights for devotion that refuses to die. This is a Black multicultural dystopian series about power, sacrifice, and what rises from the ashes. Olympic War and Phoenix War. Read them wherever books are sold.
Some places I've been, like Central America, South America, parts of Africa, some parts of Europe. Asia is next. But once I got to some places, like for instance, to Colombia, specifically Medellin, I loved it so much. I ended up staying there for years. It's kind of my home base now. So like all of my stuff is there, and I'll just kind of travel and then go back there, travel, go back there. I don't go back to the US really ever. I think I've been twice in the past 4 years. But again, some people really don't like that. Like, because one thing that you do miss out on, because you're moving every 1 to 2 months, is you have to say goodbye to all the people that you meet, and then you really have to just like start over. So for some people, they really burn out or they feel lonely, and it's just like not a good lifestyle for them. Um, and for some people who just love a constant change and like constant adventure, like I get really, I don't know, tired or bored of where I'm at. So it's just time to shake things up. That's why I came to Brazil. I wanted to shake it up. I was in Colombia for a whole year at that point. I had a digital nomad visa there, which is good for 2 years. Then after one, it's like, okay, I'm ready. So let's go see the next thing. It's just really fun for me. Yeah, a couple reasons. So a big reason is taxes. So if you don't reside in the US, you get specific tax breaks, I guess. One specifically called the foreign earned income exclusion. So you don't pay, well, you get a return on your federal taxes for your first $110,000 every year. So after that, if you make over 110K, then you pay taxes on those. But essentially, you don't have to. You get to forego those taxes. So that's a big reason. And to qualify for that, you have to be outside of the U.S. for 330 days per 12-month period. So that's a big reason to get me out. Like I get to save some money. I still do pay certain taxes, but I'm also exempt from others. So that's one reason. Also with travel, health insurance. Health insurance is much less expensive, literally everywhere else. I have like a worldwide health insurance policy that essentially covers me for any accidents, hospital stays, anything catastrophic. That's the plan that works for me right now. They also have more full coverage plans for like routine checkups and stuff. But for that, I usually just pay out of pocket in cash. Um, but like my health insurance, I pay about $70 a month. And I just pay extra because it also covers any travel delays and like theft for my electronics. And then it also covers extreme sports because I'm a scuba diver. And with that, it's a very risky activity. So I get like extra coverage there. But it covers everything. Again, if I do get in a scuba accident, if I get in like a car accident, which I actually was in a car accident a couple months ago, and my health insurance kicked in and paid the whole thing. Whereas in the US, policy like that would end up costing me maybe like $600 a month with like a $7,000 to $10,000 deductible. Whereas like my deductible here is, I believe, $200, and I'm covered worldwide except for the United States. Just lots of reasons. Then I think another obvious reason, I was really feeling burned out with the state of the US. Like when I left, it was 2021. 2020 was a tough year for everyone. In addition to the pandemic, just like everything politically, being othered as an American, it's like there has to be more out there. Like this can't be it. This cannot be the utopia that they keep talking about. You know what I mean? So I just kind of wanted to go out and see for myself, like what is like my happy place? Like what's my utopia? Which I mean, I don't think I found it because I mean it's really what you make it, you know? But yeah, every place that I've been so far has been amazing. The people that I meet are amazing. I'm able to have such a different expanded view, I guess, especially seeing things happening in the US as I'm outside the US and to see like other worldly opinions. It's really shocking, and it feels more like a reality show that's just so fake.
What was the writing process like for you?
For me, it was I was working a 9 to 5, and it was just really, really tough to find the time.
Mhm.
But it brought me so much joy bringing it, like during like so many tough times and kind of tough years and everything. It was something that brought me joy,
Mhm.
and it focuses me, it calms me down, and I needed to get those character stories out. So I would go to cafes whenever I had the chance. Go to cafes because I have so many distractions at home, and it's so comfortable. I was like, you know what? I'm going to write something. Nope, I'm going to watch Dawson's Creek. So I just, yeah, rewatching that
Yes.
right now. But so I had to get out of the house and get into the book. So it was a lot of writing at cafes. There was a lot of when I went on vacation and everything, I would take my laptop with me and write. Um, and it was beautiful because like, my brain is all over the place. I feel like I probably have ADHD. My brain was all over the place.
I definitely do.
It's rough. Like I have note cards and sticky notes, like index cards, little small index cards are all different colors, and then the sticky notes. I have
Mhm.
so many different ideas and things written on all of those, and I have stuff in my notes app. So
Mhm.
I have ideas and stuff. It's already mapped out and planned out to book 4. And
Mhm.
then after book 3, there's actually a young adult spinoff coming out, which I can't wait to write because I'm already in love
That'd
with
be
those
so cool.
characters. Hmm?
Mhm. I said that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait. That's why I wish I didn't have to go out and work and do things because then I could just write.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also in a 4-book series. I have book 2 comes out December. That was actually my proof copy is somewhere around here.
I saw your video about it. Yes.
Yeah. Um, and right now I'm getting my art team, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I have 4 books. Book 3 is also halfway written. I haven't looked at it in a long time. But book 3 happened solely because of Ariana Grande's album,
Really?
Maternal Sunshine. Yeah. I was listening. I like woke up super early, not super early, but like I woke up, got to Target as soon as it opened, um, and ran and got her album on vinyl. And my first listen was to it on vinyl. And there was a song, Imperfect for You, and it just felt like my 2 main characters so much. And then I just sat down and I couldn't even tell you how much I wrote just from that. I also am a sticky note person as well. That's why I have my journal. I don't have my old journal, but my old journal literally has, this is like my notes part,
Yeah.
right? And so I also have parts of my journals that'll be like sticky notes. And it's just where I put all my sticky notes and thoughts.
You're so organized.
It's,
I
I
wish.
have to be. I learned a long time ago how that when you're neurodivergent, when you have ADD or ADHD, you cannot keep trying to put yourself in this box, or the way that other people's brains work. You have to like hijack your brain. And so for me, organization is a way that I can hijack my brain a little bit. And it's disorganized organization, right? Because in this journal is random doodles, junk journaling. In my old journal I have like stuff from me from a concert. I also, just to show you, have a Donnie's event page.
Oh, look at this. I love that.
So it's like organized chaos. So I take everything and then I like, this is my morning stuff that I have in the morning. And then you'll see like a sticker page, and then it'll just be journaling. And then there are updates on like my brother. And then I just a random, dog someone gave me. So it's organized chaos because I need a place, like I need the organization. But if I just have something that's for organization,
Mhm.
my brain won't do it. So it also has to be fun.
What would you say was the hardest
thing about your diagnosis and going through chemo?
Hardest thing I think of, and this comes to do from the physical perspective. Um, the hardest thing was that journey that I had there in regards to when I had to go to the hospital and um, the alignment, your spiritual alignment, because for me, it's something that's happening within the context of my body. So it's I'm not defined by the fact that, I can say, hey, my name is Anicia, stage 4, but that doesn't define who I am. It is just something that I am experiencing and going through. And so the hardest thing is when you get to that part where you are living in that great spiritual alignment realm, and when you get to feel the human side of it, when you're like, yeah, 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 and I was laying there at that time, and, my heart rate was just really high, and, I was just laying and going, yeah, this is an experience for me. And then pushing through that month of June was pretty difficult. Getting through everything and trying to remain in alignment with how I wanted to mentally feel was hard, because I just didn't feel good.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel good. I think that was the hardest. I had surgeries afterwards, and, a double mastectomy. And, there was that pain and all of that kinds of stuff, but it was just that month gap where, sitting within that spot, I just didn't feel well. But I know that, that the Tori Kelly song, something is coming in the morning, that's what I keep holding into, is something is coming in the morning. I'm okay with outcomes. I'm okay with the life and death type of outcomes, I have to say, overall. But at that moment, I definitely felt my humanity.
That has to be really scary, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, yes, the good thing is that period ended.
Mm-hmm. 'Cause I
And
know what's on the other side.
we made it to the other side, and the other side was the miraculous results that we got back after
Oh,
you
yeah.
finished
Yeah.
chemo, because
Yeah,
it was
that was
truly,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. Within the numbers and the complete shift of the size of the tumors that they had found, to where there was no evidence in the lymph nodes, and, that kind of came out in the fact of the liver, where they basically just did a zap, as opposed to the major surgery, which is something or even, when just having the opportunity to have surgery, because that was one of those things that I had to move to, within the initial diagnosis. Yeah, it was the process and the flow, and just keep going.
I think that it was. I agree. By the way, I love Mortal Instruments, but there are parts of it that are problematic. I think that I say this all the time. Some people extend books farther than they need to go, or extend series farther than they need to go. And I think it was, I know I've talked about this before, and I've discussed that I, as a person, am separating Harry Potter from the author. Harry Potter books are just too phenomenal and too life-changing to just cancel them, so F off.
Yeah.
I say that kindly. Just because I like those books and I read them when I was a kid doesn't mean I support what the author is saying or doing. Specifically because she didn't say or do any of those things when the series was coming out. But I think that Harry Potter is really well planned. And I think that when you get to the last book, The Deathly Hallows, and all the small connections that are happening in every book that all add up together, feel, there's a beautiful, like, aha moment. That book hate the author, whatever. That book is beautifully planned and it was organized really well. Mortal Instruments just wasn't. It felt it felt like she had a lot of success in 1, 2, and 3. And 4, 5, and 6, I hate 4. I don't read 4 often. I just really don't like it. 5 and 6 are okay, but it just felt like a runoff. Something happened and now we're just kind of playing catch up this whole time, and we're making things weird and adding people and subtracting people when it doesn't really truly add to the story.
Yeah.
And I think the decision to make them brother and sister got even more weird when she actually did kiss her real life brother, but she didn't know it. It was just because he was pretending to be Sebastian. I think that was his name. And it was in the 3rd book. But you're right. It was something that she used as a device to keep these characters apart for all these series. And I'm also not really a big fan of that in books in general. Some of them, they fit and make sense. Some of them, they don't fit and make sense. And I think that you can write a very compelling and beautiful story and have the characters be together the whole time, because real relationships have ups and downs and peaks and valleys. And writing that is more realistic than, the 3rd act breakups or creating these really strange devices to keep your characters apart for all these books.
Yeah.
It's just a device and it doesn't work that well sometimes.
See,
Yeah.
you just escaped. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. And stop. That's hilarious.
Yep.
If rest is something you're learning, not mastering, Pure Tifa Cafe was made for you. Books by indie authors, hand-blended teas, candles, and rituals you can take home with you. It's a bookstore, a holistic self-care space built for soft moments and real life. Visit puretifa.com to shop now and use code UNBOTHERED at checkout to receive 10% off. Pure Tifa Cafe. Take the cafe home.
And I think about how a lot of my trauma, a lot of my misunderstandings I put on other people. And that's one of the I'm being honest and raw and real. Like, I truly didn't recognize that into therapy until I started trying to break down these generational traumas, that I was putting a lot of what I was going through on other people, and I never understood it. Right? Because I'm a hyper independent person. And I was like, what do you mean? I literally pay you know what I mean? And I didn't get it until I realized that I put so much energy in people being something that could never be lived up to. And I expected so much from people that was not just people being human. I like put my perfectionism on other people. I always tried to give more, and it was never beneficial, And then I would get mad when someone didn't listen to my advice, or I was giving so much and I didn't feel like they were giving me the same. And I created a monster, and I would become a monster. And then I would justify it in my head as being like, oh, but you're trying to help people. It was like, yeah, but if they don't want your fucking help, why are you getting mad at somebody because they want
somebody than what they want for themselves?
Yeah. And I think about that and it makes me sad. And it's something that I check. At first I had to create a rule, because how much like me, the rule was it was a 3-to-1 rule. For every 3 thing, or 1-to-3, however you want to take it. For every 1 thing I did for someone else, I have to do 3 things for myself.
That's a rule. That's a good rule for pouring into yourself and making sure you're not pouring from an empty cup.
Yeah.
And I also started to recognize the signs that I was becoming resentful of people was when I would like stay out really late because I was driving people around or whatever. I would have a long drive home when I lived in Jackson, and I'd be so frustrated. And then I'm like, why are you frustrated at them? You're the one that allowed this to happen. At any point in time, you could have said, I'm too tired, I want to go home. And that's when I get like that feeling, that's when I'm like, all right, how about we pull back for a couple of days? And I don't put it on people anymore. Like I used to send text messages like, oh my gosh, I did all this for you and now I'm exhausted and blah, 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 blah. And now I'm like, no, that's not healthy. Those are my choices.
Like, I will say there was a lot of emotional labor involved. And, like, I don't
Being
like,
my friend.
Like, but, I mean, same with me, but, like, you cared so much that it became too much, I guess you could say. Do you
Yeah.
remember you said to me one time, you were like, I'm jealous of you. And I think that that's healthy and that's okay. And I was like, friend, why would I still be friends with someone who's jealous of me? That's not an emotion that you should be okay with having. And you did not get it. You were like, no, you were justifying it that it's okay for me to be jealous of you. I still love you and blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
It's funny because I'm terrible at speaking, putting my emotions into words. So I would probably say that jealous and resentful was probably the
yeah,
word that I was looking for.
yeah, you could say resentful, and I can see that and understand that one. But I was like,
Yeah.
jealous? What the
But
fuck?
honestly,
Or envious? What
talking about generational trauma, I do want to talk about that a little bit. I was really jealous of you and Jessica. Um, and I guess in my feeling in my heart, it wasn't, maybe envious is a better word, but it was never in like bad
a
taste.
malicious
It was
way?
because I saw that you guys got to live a life that I felt like I didn't get to live. You guys got a freedom,
No, we created a freedom
Yes, you
within
guys created a
ourselves.
freedom that I didn't create within myself at the time. I was very much like older sister. I have to do this. I have to take care of people to no one's help, because I did it to everybody's detriment. Honestly, I did it to the point where I pushed people away. And what I really wanted was to have that freedom.
And that
That
is what you
changes
can say
everything.
instead of saying I can't afford it or it's too expensive. Because first of all, technically, you probably could afford it. If you have a credit card, if you have a debit card, if you have a little extra, if you want to go sell something online, like you technically could, and you don't want to you don't want to reinforce that belief that you can't. But that doesn't mean you have to go. Just say that is not in alignment with where I'm putting my money right now. So focus in on like, what are your language? What are your beliefs? Because that's going to tell you where your subconscious mind is at. Like the things that just come out of your mouth without you thinking about it are what your subconscious beliefs are. Those are the neural pathways that are just running on automatic mode without you having to consciously be aware of what you're doing. And by changing your language and like taking that moment of pause, you're going to create new neural pathways that are in alignment with the abundance money mindset that you want to create. And you're going to start quieting that scarcity money.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think that I get caught up in that a lot, and I'm trying to change it. And but like, here's the thing that people don't talk about. It's so hard.
Yes.
It's not an easy thing to do, and it's not something that's another thing that frustrates me about the TikTok stuff, is it's not like you go to bed, you say these things, you wake up the next day, you have one. You like you were saying about conscious reprogramming, like it takes time. That's one of the things that when I pulled my tarot cards yesterday, it was like, this all started with this, situation with a guy that you were drawn into, and that led to this, and that led to everything falling apart, and which was the Tower card. And if you guys don't know anything about tarot, the Tower card literally means everything is falling apart. And I've never lived in my Tower energy more than in this moment in my life. Like everything around me is legit. I really wish I could make it up. It's legitimately falling apart. But the beautiful thing about it is that it does it because whatever foundation you've built wasn't a foundation that was stable. It was a foundation that you built because you were just learning or you were just growing. And, the whole major arcana of tarot is a journey. And then, when you start like the fullest journey in the beginning, you're just kind of getting in touch with it. You know what I mean? And when you're just learning, you're not building the right foundation. You're building the foundation based off of the knowledge that you have. But to get to your actual final goal, you have to really do work of tearing yourself apart so that you can rebuild yourself in the right way.
1,000%. I always say, like, at the end of the day, you have to be consistent. And again, like, I'm a neuroscientist. It's everything I do is proven and backed by neuroscience. And they say it takes 10,000 repetitions to create a new neural pathway. So you have to be on it. And that's why I love coaching and like why that's where I see the power in long-term coaching, because a lot of people need that accountability. A lot of people need that support to be able to check in with someone every single day and be like, I've done the things that I need to do, and this is what I'm struggling with today. This is what I'm doing good with, and to continuously keep it on the top of your mind. That's also why most of my courses, my main course, Rewire for Rich, gives subconscious reprogramming tools, and it's 21 days, because 21 days to start building a new neural connection, you need at least 21 days to do that. And so everything is set up to provide the consistency, because at the end of the day, that's what you need. You need consistency, and it's normal for people to fall off, and it's even more normal for people to stay off when they fall off. Like, getting back on is the hardest part, because people feel like they lose progress. It's not worth it anymore. You have to start from the beginning. And with this, it's not starting from the beginning. That neural pathway is still there. You just have to start reinforcing it again and activating it again. But if you fall off and you lose 3 months and you don't do it, just start again.
Just get back on it.
Just get back on it.
What is the best advice you've gotten as a business owner? So I'll take it into the context of, I do not own the Junior League of Birmingham.
Yes. You work for the nonprofit of.
Yes. So as president, I think kind of along the same lines of like Sammy, of like, we are always trying to do all the things all the time, and like making, like, really focusing on like what's the top 1, 2. And then you're nice to have 3, 4, because realistically, so our terms for leadership roles are a year. So I'm a president for a year, and then I'm going to be handing off to Sammy, and she's going to be president for a year. And when you're running a nonprofit, it's just not realistic that you are going to get 50 things done a year.
Common with presidents of the United States. They always come in with a list, right? And then it's like, who actually does it and who doesn't? What happens in the meantime, right?
So
same sort of thing.
Being really focused on like, okay, as I'm president, like, what are my top 1 to 2 things that I want to get done? And then it'll be okay.
Yeah. Don't spread yourself too thin. Like, that's good advice.
My therapist, because
we all need those.
He always keeps reminding me, just do one thing. One thing. My mom hates it. My mom's a Virgo. This is nothing against Virgos. You guys keep the world moving. We love you. But she like needs order. And she's like, no. How do we keep this going? How do we get everything going? But I'm like, I need you to pause. I can only do one thing at a time.
Yeah, she's a multitasker.
I'm very good at multitasking, but she is very much of the like epitome of, I gotta do everything. So my mom
I hear you.
has a professional job. She also teaches Zumba. She also works for her church. She's a youth minister. She's also in ministerial school. I just named 4 things. She's also part of like social groups. She's in a Puffin with My Pearls plug. She's in a Puffin with My Pearls group. And there's also all these other side things. She volunteers for the American Heart Association. So I've always done, I don't know if you've ever been a part of or seen the American Heart Association.
Yeah.
So I'm always volunteering there.
if you see a random person in a whole bunch of different costumes, that was probably me. I mean, there are a lot of people in different costumes, but I have been in different costumes every single day.
So basically 27 dresses, but 27 costumes.
Yeah. So I've been a unicorn. I've been Elmo. I've been the heart. I've been a Care Bear. I've done Sailor Moon twice. I did Mad Hatter. Cool. So yeah, 27 dresses for costumes. So she does all of that, and I have that in me. I think she passed it down to me, but because my brain is limited because of depression and anxiety and things, can't do them all at once. So I have to do one thing at a time. And sometimes that one thing takes me longer. It's like, why isn't this happening sooner? And I was like, my brain can only function at this level. Yeah. So I love that though. I think that's important advice for anyone who's involved in nonprofits. A lot of people don't know that nonprofits could be very taxing on your mental state. And they're not, some people be like, oh, they're just people just sitting in and they just get funding and everything's just easy. And that's not the case.
And that's not the space that we're in.
I don't think any nonprofit that I've known is in that, but a lot of people that, there's the perception, right? And a lot of people cannot, and this is for businesses, nonprofits, all of that. A lot of people don't know like what it actually takes, what's going on in the background. Oh yeah. And so I think that that's something that could be passed on to people who are in nonprofits, people who are owning their own businesses, right? People who are working at a job regular every single day, doing one thing at a time. Yeah. 1 and 2. And then if you get 1 and 2, then we can talk about, what was it, 3 and 4? Yeah.
Because like, even when I applied to be president, I had this whole PowerPoint. I was thinking, this is what I'm going to do. And I've gotten 1 or 2 because that was 2 years ago. Okay. 3 and 4 have shifted.
It's time. And things evolve. And things take long. Everything takes longer than what you think it is. You're so excited and you're so passionate. You're like, oh my gosh. And then you sit down and you're like, holy Moses. Yeah. To get this one thing done, it takes like 4 months of my attention and building and, that's one of the things that I love about being an indie podcaster or indie author and all those things, having a small business, is that I could just wake up one day and be like, I think that I'm going to start selling this one thing. Yeah. And there's still a lot of things I have to go in background, like uploading it or whatever. Yeah. But because I'm doing it all myself and I don't have people to like report to, or most of the things I make myself. But then that also causes problems because then I lose track of the things I'm supposed to be doing. Yes. But no, I love talking to you, with you both, I should say. Thank you. And thinking about how you can not only help yourself, but help everyone in your community. Like kind of what your dad said, like how you're solving my problem. How do we solve all these problems? Like the feeling of like, it can't just be me. I have to do that. I have that, kind of coming more from like the Caribbean side of things. Yeah. It was weird because I grew up here, which is very independent, and Caribbeans are very interdependent. A little too much in your business for me personally. Yeah. But even like a lot of African Americans don't study, like they say they celebrate Kwanzaa, but they don't understand one of the policy or the principles in Kwanzaa is, I cannot remember it right now, but it's the same thing. Like you can't just uplift yourself, you have to uplift your community. Yeah. And I think that's an important thing for people to listen. And I wish that, especially in the current political climate that we are in right now, in the current environment that we are in, that more people understood that like it can't just be you. Yeah. Having people that are out there doing and have the mentality that you have and your business have, I think makes the world a better place. So thank you.
Well, man, I got to give back. We're a reflection. I don't like taking it. I can take it in and say, yes, we did. It's us. We did the work. No, but this is a reflection of who we're part of community with. Right? Yeah. Who we're partnered with. Bamboo is a great partnership. Right? Yeah. So it's essentially they're creating the space, they're bringing the people, and then we're helping kind of move people together and collective programs or practices or, activities that we do. Yeah. So it's for us, it's saying, yes, we're a reflection of who we connect with.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you so much.
First question, how can people buy your coffee?
They can go to comsadetroit.com to check it out. Follow our Instagram for any of our pop-ups. So Comsa Official on Instagram. You can also check us out on LinkedIn. And then we have a pop-up on Thursday morning, 7:30 to 10:30 at Cadillac Urban Gardens in Southwest Detroit.
I can go to the Detroit one. Me thing.
Yeah.
Has not anxiety. Detroit's a big city.
It's huge.
So many like people per square space or whatever. The person capita is very high. And it just becomes really anxious for me.
Yeah.
Also, I get lost in Detroit
It's
quite
huge.
frequently. It's huge and it's like all the one-way streets or whatever. But I might come in the summer.
Well, you can come to Royal Oak. So we have our coffee is in Bamboo Royal Oak.
I'm actually here.
Yeah.
I've been looking at it.
So it's here. So if you need us to drop it off, we can always drop it off as well. We
Okay.
can meet you. We can hang out. We just have another podcast and bring some coffee with you.
I've been telling everybody, obviously this is going to be, everybody only gets like a small segment. I would love to be able to sit down with everybody and talk about it, because for the full podcast, we talk about like society and culture. So passion projects that people have, those are kind of the things that we talk about. So I would love to have more people on. So I'm going to send an email out to everyone to organize that as well. Is there anything else that you want to plug for people to follow or support or anything like that?
I would just say, support your local nonprofit and just make sure that you're giving each other roses. I think people deserve roses, and I think right now we're in a tough time that we're not seeing. We're seeing the efforts and we're seeing the hard work and we're seeing what's going out there, but I think people need to kind of stop and be like, "You're doing a good job."
Way more.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I think that that's one of the things in Caribbean culture they don't do a lot of. Caribbean culture likes to critique you for love. I recently talked to my friend. I was like, why am I so hard on myself? And she's like, because no one's being soft with you. And I think more people need to learn. It's like, it's okay. It's okay to tell someone they're doing a good job. It's okay to tell someone, oh, I like your shirt or like your outfit, or I saw you do this thing and I thought it was amazing. It's okay to compliment people, and it actually makes you feel better and that person feel like you don't know whose day you can change by giving them their flowers.
Yeah.
Like you can change someone could have been wanting to give up on something that they were doing, the success or whatever, their business, anything. And you just be like, yo, I saw like this photo that you took and I thought it was so amazing. That needs to happen more too. Yeah.
People are amazing.
People are.
I'm actually going through such a tremendous shift in my life. It is the most uncomfortable thing I have ever done. And I've done some really uncomfortable things in my life. And how you describe, so a little backstory to kind of my journeys. I actually do come from a religious background. I've never felt like that fit me at all. I've always loved astrology. I grew up around an earth sign mother and an earth sign brother, and I am a fire sign. And so if you know anything about astrology, you know how chaotic that can be, because essentially fire signs just are passion and following in, impulses, and earth signs are well thought out, things need to be planned, material, grounding kind of people. And, that was the first time I, ever felt like I didn't belong in a space. And I've done so many things in my life trying to find my space. And last year, my mom got diagnosed with cancer. And I think that it was like a shocker. Oh, thank you. I always say it without any emotion in it, but that's just kind of who I am. I could tell you the worst thing that ever happened to me and be like so unemotional. It's not a good habit. Don't adapt it. But that was the moment when, I was doing all the things. I got a house when I turned 30, which to me by myself, which was a major accomplishment. Jokes
That's
on me.
huge.
I'm losing. It was huge. I'm losing the house now, but all things happened for the reasons. I was working at a 9-to-5 credit union. I was doing all the things that people had wanted me to do for so long. In the background,
health insurance and
I had the health insurance. I'm in the reserves. And right before all of those things happened, I was following more of my passions. I was getting more into crystals during COVID, took tarot classes. I became a certified tarot reader, a certified crystal healer, advanced crystal healer, sound bath healer, all of these things.
All right, this is my podcast now. Yeah. I don't know if this is still recording or if this is going to get to Gabi in any way, but in case it is, I just want to say that I feel like that journey has been happening to a lot of women right now, that kind of like, oh, maybe I'll pick up these crystals, and oh, maybe I'll try this tarot deck, and maybe I'll see what it is. And I think it's really appealing to a generation a generation of women who learned to be such fervent overthinkers. We learned not to trust our instincts, not to believe in magic. We learned to be super practical. And just like you were saying, to do the thing that everyone is telling you to do.
So I had all the things. Like I had the job, everything. And before that I had started my spiritual journey. And it was interesting because when I moved into my house, I had the feeling instantly that this was the wrong thing to do. And I remember like crying to someone and be like, I made a bad decision, but I can't get out of it now. And so I spent 3 years trying to make that decision work. Almost like a like a Love is Blind marriage. I spent
Yep.
3 years trying to make it work. And I lost a lot of myself and I lost a lot of my spirituality in it. And then my mom got the cancer thing and it kind of felt like it was awakening up for me. It was like I'm spending my life doing things that I didn't hate it, right? But it wasn't who I was.
And so it's so funny when you say the word gratitude, which is a word that we hear very often now. And it's not a word I heard often when I was younger, when I was growing up, but it's a word that you hear very often now. And I believe that to a lot of people, it is just that, a word. It's a word we throw around. I don't think that everybody truly understands what gratitude really is. So we say it, it's just like the whole concept of think back to when you were little and, you have a birthday party or something where you got presents and your parents tell you to say thank you to everybody, right? Kid, that's not where your head is, right? Like you're saying thank you because it's the thing that I'm supposed to do. So now I feel like you hear this gratitude, this word gratitude, and a lot of people really treat it like it's just that, just a word. Like, oh, this is the thing that I'm supposed to do is to have gratitude. And the truth is, it's not just a thing that you say, it's a thing that you feel. Like, I feel like gratitude to be really effective in your life, you have to feel it. And it has to start with, the little things. You can't just wait, oh, I won the lottery today. I'm feeling I'm feeling a lot
I'm
of
feeling
gratitude.
grateful.
I'm feeling real grateful right now. Just won a lottery today. How about you woke up and breathe? You're breathing, like you have air in your lungs. You like the fact that you woke up, period. That like gratitude. So I think it's all about the just feeling grateful for all of the little things in this world of chaos and confusion. Like I think it's a vibration that that we all long to reach. And some of us just don't know how to find that because a lot of people can say that they feel grateful about one thing and then turn around and complain about something else. And I'm guilty of it for sure. But I think it's just truly finding things to be grateful for in every moment. Not when things happen, not when big things happen for you, or not when things are going your way, because they aren't always going to. So it's about trying to in every moment, because all we have is the moment. So it's about in every moment trying to find something to be grateful for.
Pure Tifa Podcast.